Imagine yourself, a 14-year-old in the year of 1944. You're about 5'1" and weigh about 95 pounds. In your hands, you are carrying a Bible. As you're walking, the Bible is taken away from you and is placed like a booster seat in a chair that your tiny size does not allow you to fit in. This chair is not like any chair that you've ever sat on. This chair is something way different. And all it took to get there was you helping two little girls look for flowers. This chair will decide your life. This chair will forever make you remembered. And you will make history by sitting in this chair. So, this brings me to my first main point. Who is George Steeny? According to Lindsay Bieber, George Steeny was a 14-year-old black boy who was accused of the murder of two young white girls. George Steeny and his sister were out walking their cow on March of 1944. While walking their cow, they encountered two young white girls. The two young girls asked George Steeny and his sister for help. The two girls were looking for flowers, but Steeny and his sister were no help. The children went out their way after the encounter. The young girls went missing after the encounter with George, which placed him as the main suspect of the disappearance. After a 2-hour trial and a 10-minute jury deliberation, Steeny was convicted of murder and sentenced to die. George Steeny was the last person to see the young girls alive, therefore he was accused for their murder. Police say that he confessed to the murder and rushed him to trial. On June 16, 1944, he was executed, becoming the youngest person in the U.S. to get executed. This brings me to my second main point. Constitutional or unconstitutional? Steeny was executed without hard evidence. It only took the court one day to decide if he was to live or not. The day of the trial, police bring no evidence to the court but their word of mouth. State that Steeny confessed of the murder, but no confession was documented. His alibi, which was his sister, was never interrogated or asked about questions about the incident. The lawyer that was defending him, a white male who was running for political office and was in need of votes in that, did not present a single defense witness and did not cross-examine the police. Cruel and unusual punishment with no evidence at all, Steeny said that he never confessed to anything. Steeny was so small in size that when sitting on the electrical chair, they had to place books under him in order for him to fit the electrical chair right. The mask covering his face slipped due to it being too big for him, revealing his wide open, tearful eyes and saliva coming from his mouth. His family was forced to flee after the arrest of Steeny. They were told that if not gone, they will be lynched. His family was never allowed to be present during the trial or the execution. His family was able to finally see him till his funeral. This brings me to my third main point. 70 years later. Steeny's case was reopened 70 years later by George Friesen, a South Carolina judge. He stated and proved that the case exhibited some irregularities. A former cellmate testified that Steeny was under police pressure to testify, which was common during the Jim Crow laws. His sister and other witnesses were finally able to testify on Steeny's behalf. Finally, autopsies of the girls revealed that the court was influenced by the Jim Crow justice system. Therefore, Steeny was innocent. George Steeny was an innocent 14-year-old who was at the wrong place at the wrong time, unfairly accused over a murder where no evidence was found. This case is just another way of us seeing how segregated court cases were during the Jim Crow laws. An innocent child did not deserve to die the way that Steeny did. Sadly, his innocence was proven too late. Therefore, never stay quiet when you know the truth about a certain situation. You never know who you could be saving. This time, it was Steeny. Tomorrow, it could be you. Thank you for listening.